It's fascinating, but it's a cute story. So I've never bought a house off MLS. I've never bought a house off a computer or anything that's ever even been listed to sell. Because if it's listed, it's going to be on MLS. So I buy tax liens. I buy properties that are distressed. I read books and stuff. This guy named Robert Sheeman. I go to the seminars. I learn how to do this aggressively, this tactic on how to buy houses, right? And I buy them below the appraised value, like I've explained to a couple of you guys. So this one house in particular, over here in Manalapan, the way I found it is driving. I was driving by because I was told to do this by the book. And I said, okay. I looked for divorce sales. Hard to find them. There they are. They're in the paper like they said. But how do I contact these? I get the address. I don't know how do I, it's not for sale. It's not on MLS. You can't contact an agent. How do you communicate with the owner? How do you find it? You have to do a title search. You have to do these things, right? Find out all this stuff. So in this house, I'm driving by a place called Manalapan, where you have $20 million house after $18 million house, a $12 million, a 15, a 100, or whatever. It's an island. It's on Palm Beach, and it's the wealthiest community in all of Palm Beach and all of Florida per capita. More billionaires than any place. Actually, probably in the United States of America. Am I correct? Even more than Palm Beach. More than Palm Beach. And it is Palm Beach, but it's South Palm Beach. Just a little place there. Very luxurious, exquisite, whatever. I drive by this house and I go, Jesus, man, the grass is 20 feet high. I look around the back. The swimming pool has half the water in it. It's black, disgusting pool, and I'm like, there's something wrong when you got a $20 million house. And I was looking at it, with the value of these houses, and I'm like, who lives over here in $20 million houses that can't afford to cut their grass? There's something wrong with this picture. I'm driving in, I'm knocking on the door. I knocked on the door. This old 87-year-old man answers the door. He's from Cuba. He's a physician. He was a physician here, I guess, at a hospital or whatever. House is paid for, done. I said, hi. He goes, oh, Vanilla Ice. Oh, I watch your show. I like the show, and all this. I'm like, you know who I am? He's 87. Oh, yeah, I know. Come in, come in, come in. I'm just driving by to see if you were considering maybe selling your house. He goes, oh, yes, yes. I go, this is great. And I go, okay. He goes, my wife is in hospice. She's dying here in the bedroom. I want to show you. It's okay. She doesn't know you're here. You can come in and look at the bedroom. I go, no, I don't want to go in there. They had nurses and a lady that was in her deathbed sitting there. And I'm like, I don't really need to see this. I understand what a master bedroom is. Let's see the rest of the house. Okay, I walk around, see the rest of the house. I'm hanging out. This is great, man. This whole time I knew I was going to make him an insulting offer, right? And I did. And I threw it at him. No realtor involved, just straight me to you. How much is it going to take me to get this house? I already knew it was worth 2.5. I said, I'll give you 1.8 right now. He goes, okay. Shakes my hand, done. Wow. And all I did was, nobody else decided to go up there and knock on that door. And who would have known that the situation he was in? Story gets cute. So I acquired a house below the appraised value.
And it was the tall grass that attracted you?
Yeah, I saw it right away. It was an eyesore in the middle of beautiful mega mansions in the location of, it's on the ocean over there. And the biggest lot over there, too, an acre on the water with a beach and a dock for a 150-foot yacht that sits there now to the owner, who's my friend that I sold it to. So the house, I kept it for a while, a few years and stuff. I put $3 million into it, and on top of the 1.8, ended up selling it for $18 million. But I kept it for a while, used it for a little bit, and hung out over there, and had a couple of get-togethers and whatnot. But the point of this is nothing of what I'm telling you. The story about the guy. So he comes back, he sees the house when I'm finished, right? And he looks around, he's like, whoa, I see what you did. This is the one I did the jellyfish tank in. He had no idea what I was going to do to this house, and I went off. And it was on the TV show. I think it was season 6 or 7 or something like that. And it took us, over a year to build this house. It was big, lavish, 12,000 square feet, big house. So I did this house. I finished it. He comes in, he sees it. He's like, wow. Yeah, I'm walking him around and shit. And I go, what are you going to do, man? Do you need me to help you? He's 87. So I said, you need me to help you find a house to live? You're out, have you got a place to live yet? What happened to you, No. I know, buy no house. I go, okay. And he had a little John boat there of all the shit that we pushed away that we're going to throw in the trash. I was like, I wondered what was going to happen with that old piece of shit John boat. And he goes, oh, my son's going to come pick this up. I go, okay. And he's one of those people that talks and he tells you his life story right in front of you, you know? And he's like, and I go, so where are you going, man? He goes, I'm going to take my money and I'm going that way. I said, where are you going? He goes, I'm going off into America. I'm going to die in America somewhere, but not here. And my son, he's going to pick up this boat. And I know give them shit. I pay for their college. I pay for their shit. They don't work. They wait for me to die to take my money. I go, oh, man, you have no good relationship with your kids at all, bro. and they're lazy. I send them to school. They do nothing. I like, this is okay. All right. I said, what are you going to do, man? He goes, he opens up his van. He bought a van and he put a mattress in the back and he opened it up and I still get goosebumps listening to it. He opens it up and he had a big picture of his wife there. And he goes, this was the love of my life. I'm going to go and die because she died now. I'm going to go in peace with my wife. That direction. I said, where are you going? He goes, I don't know. I'm going into America and wherever I end up, that's where I'm going to die with my wife here. It was a cute story. I was like, you know, the guy was living for love. He was in love with his wife. And when she passed away, it was like Johnny Cash. He said, I don't have any purpose on this life anymore. I don't need this money. I don't want my kids to have it. I'm just going that way in my van and my mattress and my picture of my wife. I thought it was a cute story.
No,
Goes to show you that you can't die with what you accumulate here. You can't take it with you, but you can take love with you. And love is real, and you don't have to die to figure it out. So that right there is a good little love story that makes you think.
Love story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just wanted to share it with you. I have so many stories I could sit on the front porch and tell you about real estate deals because everyone is different on how you acquire them. Whew, I got stories for days. I'll spare you for now, but yeah.
I remember going up and visiting you in that house, and I brought the white Lambo. I remember I bought that white one, and I came in and you said park here. And
Oh.
I just park here. Just park here. I said okay, park here, and I park here. The next thing you know, he clicks a button. I thought I was on the driveway, and the Lambo starts turning around. It was like the coolest thing. I thought it was unbelievable.
The car rotisserie.
Yeah, car rotisserie. You couldn't even see it. You just drove right on it like it was it. It was such a sight. Yeah.
It's mixed
I
in
love
with
that
the
house.
pavers and just really cool thing. I got them lined up. I refuse to do those. All my friends after that, they saw the TV. I want one. And I'm like, man, let me do your whole house. I'm not the car turntable guy, you know.
Yeah.
I want to do the whole thing, not just known for that. But
I think you should tell the story about how playing arcade games helped you win auctions in the
I did tell them
cars.
that.
Oh, you did already?
So you guys know I'm from the 90s and I played, quarter Atari and Vanguard and Galaga and Space Invaders and then Space Invaders Deluxe and then, whatever it was. It was one of these, even the track and field. Centipede. Centipede's perfect example. You got to do this the whole time. I became a drummer because of that. But so I told them already. But we enter the auction out of India, and I hit that. Every time you hit it, it's a $10,000 increment. So I learned a little thing that works for me to where I can hit it so fast at the end of the 10 seconds when it does the countdown that nobody can Galaga with me. And I end up buying these damn houses like that. It works. Nobody else has figured that little tricky thing out.
Yeah.
I lost my first 3 bids because I wasn't fast enough. Trust me, I got faster at the end. It didn't take me long to figure that out. And you can set the limit so you don't go past where you want to go, So if you hit the button too many times, $10,000 is a lot, There's $1 million right there, But it becomes fun, and then you go, holy shit, we won? What did we pay? Acquiring houses has become definitely a story for me. I got so many stories about it. Each transaction is so different from some are smooth, go normal, easy, nothing to remember, nothing to talk about. And then you meet these walks of life of people that just blow you away, man. And the situation. I just bought that one. I told 12 years it took me to get the one where I'm doing the production studio next to me, the third house there.
Took you a long time. You always wanted that one.
12 years, man, and that thing went through probate. and they hated each other and they fought each other, the brother and the sister. The old man died, and I never seen a house go through probate and how that all works. So by seeing that, and then talking to my other neighbor Mark, um, I'll explain that one too because you won't understand it if I don't explain it. What death taxes are? Have you ever heard of that? Death taxes?
Yeah.
Well, this is how you lose your generational wealth. If you're not smart enough to understand, or parents are not smart enough to understand that they're going to leave the earth one day and they might want to keep their kids whatever they worked hard for, to give it to them and not give it to a lawyer, not give it to, you know, let the kids even take all the cash and squander it or whatever. So I wanted to explain something about how generational wealth works and how assets work over cash. So when you're leaving things, right? And how taxes work with death tax. So my buddy Mark, his parents were loaded. They owned over 1,500 acres right in the middle of Palm Beach, owned that marina over there next door to, Key Lime House.
Okay,
That's
that one, yeah.
the next door where the Lady K, the fishing boat, my neighbor, Mark.
Yep,
You know
yep,
him,
Mark.
met
Yeah, I
him,
remember.
Coffee Mark.
Yep,
He's
yep,
addicted to
that's it.
coffee. He's got every grain of coffee. And I have a coffee trail behind my house to go get coffee in the morning at his house. And he tells me, he goes, man, if I would have known, me and my brother and my sister, my dad and mom died, they left us all this shit. We sold it. We thought we were going to be set for life. And death tax, never heard of it before, never saw it coming, took over 80% of their profit. And they were set. They were all set. It was all done. And the parents had it all paid for. And how can that be? And how can the lawyers and everybody take all this stuff and they found out about a death tax? And you got to find out, if you want generational wealth, how to avoid that shit. Because what happens is, if you have a piece of, let's just say a carcass is laying in the street of some kind of raccoon or something, what happens? You can either clean it up or somebody else is going to clean it up, like an eagle or some kind of vulture. It's going to come pick it apart, and that's what they do, man. Vultures. When you die, they come at you. Every lawyer will come at, if they see money, right? They will come at your kids, and they will try to separate the kids to where they all have their own attorney. They're not working together. They're working against each other. So you have to fight your sister and your other sister through all three different lawyers who are all on the clock, getting paid, and all talking behind each one of them's back, talking about, let's just run this thing into the dirt till we get paid. I'm down if you're down. Okay, lawyer talk. The problem with this world is lawyers. And they've really put everything in. Are you a lawyer? Sorry. It depends on what lawyer. So here's the point. The problem, and you'll probably agree with me, every single obstacle that these lawyers put in front of you are not for you. They're for future lawyers. Have you ever seen a shirt, a tag on the back of your shirt? Have you ever bought a little stuffed toy and seen the tag on the back? They've gotten longer. They've gotten now not just one tag, but two, maybe three or four tags on every damn thing you buy. It's this, there'll be a tag on it. Every piece of clothes, how many times do you have to pull the fucking tag off the damn thing? And there's one on the collar, there's one on the bottom, there's one over here. Those are lawyers. Have you ever read one word on any of the fine print on your tag or your shirt or anything? No one reads it. Most people just ignore it or cut it off. Yank it off, throw it in the trash. How many times when you get like a whole set of clothes are you pulling tags, right? So every one of those stupid things and all that little fine print on there is put up by a lawyer for a disclaimer, making sure that if you swallow this t-shirt, you're not going to sue us. If you get cancer for it, you're not going to sue us. It's a disclaimer. So what that is that's future lawyers. You can't release that shirt and sell it if you ain't got the tag on it. They don't put the tag for decorative purposes, right? And it's not just clothes. It's every damn thing you buy. Toys for your kids. How many times do you have to rip them open and cut them and get a knife, a razor knife? Lawyers have ruined this fucking world because they put up obstacles of things that we used to could just freely do. Now they're everywhere and you have a hurdle to jump over it. So you have to contact the lawyer if you want to get over that hurdle. And if you want to accomplish this, I can't do it on my own. What do? I got to call a fucking lawyer. Why can't you do it on your own? Because there's an obstacle in front of you. Lawyers after lawyers. And what they do, one of the biggest things they do, is wait for the ultra wealthy to die. And they flock areas like this where you have Bill Gates living down here and you have everybody. And when they have kids, it's even better. And we flock them and we go, oh, I want to be the lawyer for that kid, boy. Ooh, ooh. Right? Billionaire money, let's get the kids, let's get in there and get paid. That's the only objective for the lawyers, is they're not having fun. They don't like doing the paperwork or going to court and getting involved in your shit. They like the money. They like the money. That's what they're there for. Lawyers don't drive Prius. They're there for money. So, generational wealth, you have to beat the snakes back. And the only way to do that is about 5 ways. One is you can not worry about a lawyer who's telling you how to do it. Because if you ask a lawyer, how do I save all the money and give it to my kids without the IRS taking it, without anybody else taking it, and these lawyers in probate court taking over? How do I do that? Well, if you ask a lawyer, he's going to tell you 100 different things that are going to confuse you. He's going to tell you you need a trust. You need a living trust. You need a revocable trust. You need this and a trust, and you need another trust for that trust. And then you're going to need to make sure that that trust is controlled by this intuity, which is controlled by that intuity. And then this one over here has to be the silent partner for that one over there. Fuck all that. That's lawyer bullshit trying to scam you all the way right away. And they already see where you're going, that you're not educated on how to protect your assets from us. So the way to do it is, the simplest way to not think about it and to not even worry about it and just pass on as much money as you want to your kids is go, fuck it. Let's just max out some damn life insurance. And that's what you do. You don't have to get all that other shit. And you can let a lot of that stuff that you thought about that was tangible go, or you can put it in a trust of things that are personal and all kinds of personal memorabilia that you think your kids might keep or want. You know, like my car collection stays together. They can't sell it if they want. They can lease it out. They've got certain rules and things like that, but can't sell them, you know. So that way you can never squander it. And instead of giving my kids cash in a big bank account that the lawyers are going to take half of it, death tax is going to take another half, then they're going to be uneducated and broke. And that's the way it works. 90% of the world ends up in that damn lawyer cesspool of victim. And that's what they do. They victimize the dead and the wealthy dead. If you ain't got nothing and you die, they don't care. Ain't no money to come get it. They don't care. There's nothing there. But if you got money there, they're coming after you. And I'm pretty sure everybody here's got some good money that you've accumulated over the years that you'd like to leave to your kids. It's a tricky thing. If you don't want to worry about it, max out your life insurance. And yes, you can do revocable trusts and stuff. Or you can buy some diamonds. Buy some big diamonds and go to diamond exchanges. You know, you can't leave the country without $10,000. Only $10,000. That's it. They'll bust your ass. I watched a lady that had $12,000 in front of me, and they busted her ass, made her miss her flight to London and all this stuff. And I'm like, just for $2,000? I mean, what is $10,000 today?
That's interesting, because they probably set that rule back like 50 years ago when $10,000 might have been a decent amount of money, but they never indexed it.
And it still is. 10 grand is 10 grand, okay? It's still good, but it's not 10 grand in the 80s.
Or 50s.
And to not move that and to tell you that all the hard work and money that you've earned in your life, that you're not allowed to leave the country with it, then does that make it your money? No, it's not your money, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They'll take it from you in any way and angle you think, and if you die, you really can't protect yourself or your kids or anything, right? So you're done. They're just going to vulture in on you and take it. So I learned a thing in another book, another seminar on how to do this, and I've taken courses and researched, and yes, you do need the trusts. You do need certain things on the assets, but one thing you want to leave your kids is assets. Assets. Tons of them. Don't even worry about the cash. And then set up a plan of attack for your kids to have their future unconfused. Educate them on taxes, taxes, taxes. Why I told you, the first thing I told everybody here, I said, the most important thing is they don't teach any of us in school. No high school, not reading, not math, not algebra, not trigonometry, none of the stupid shit you're never going to use in life. The most important thing that they're going to use is taxes. If you're going to be successful in life and you're going to make money, you're going to need to know that. And it's the most uneducated, untaught thing. Why? Because the lawyers don't want you to know it. They got an advantage. in every angle and every corner. And you got to outthink that lawyer who knows the law. You got to beat him to the punch. How do you take $10,000 more than, how do you take 2 million, 3 million, 5 million bucks to London right now? How do you do it? How can I get 5 million bucks over in London right now? Does anybody know how to do it? Huh? No, you can't. You got to have to pay taxes on that. And they're going to penalize you bad on your money you've already paid taxes on.
That's smart.
Do you think you're going to put it in your pocket and leave on an airplane and go over there? No, the rule is 10 grand. And if you take your money and pull it over there, you're going to pay taxes when you pull it back. You can't do that. You can't wire it. You can't do all that. You can do it, but it's gone. It's going to stay over there, right? What do you got?
I was wanting to ask you a question. You're saying how to save money when you pass away, or how to hand money
How to
down.
not let
How to not
the
let it go.
vultures take it, not
What-
save it.
What do you recommend on teaching them how to just earn money? What's your recommendation there?
So that's a whole nother animal, because you're going to have to do that. That means you have to get up and you have to teach them some working ethics, you know, and you basically, there's no better example than to be your dad and to show them and live the example. And when they see it, they pick up on what your mom and dad are doing, and they see it. Instead of telling them boring stuff about how to do it, they just see the lifestyle. Like my daughter, I sent her to college, very expensive, got a degree, very proud of her, like I told you about, but she ended up, because of COVID, having to switch her little career up there. And now she's very successful because of how book smart and computer smart and going through the college. She learned a lot of shit there that she's using with her real estate. And now she works for Illustrated Properties. And I told you, every house that she sells, I match the check and I pay her bills and I show her how to save. I said, now you see how much money you got now? Let's see next year and let's look at that same account. It's doubled, tripled, quadrupled. Now let's look at that the year after. And I do that, and I've done it for 6 years with her, and she's now a millionaire on her own. And I'm proud of her. I helped her because I pay all the bills. She has no expenses, so anything she makes, she collects. But if you ain't making nothing, you ain't earning nothing, you ain't getting ahead. So I tell her, go out and earn it. Wake up. You got to accomplish things. I can buy you everything you'll ever want, and I'm going to leave you a shitload of money when I die. You'll never accomplish anything. You'll never have the thrill of accomplishment. You're going to end up not really caring about a new car, not really caring about a house or anything you can buy, because it doesn't have any importance, because you just go write a check for it and that's it. You just buy it, right? So you don't have any. But when you earn something, how great do you feel? Like, you shine that car up. You go wash the wheels. I paid for that motherfucker out of the money I earned and paid. That's my shit. I'm proud because I accomplished it. If someone gives you something, you might say, thanks, that's great. You don't feel the same way about it. So I told my daughters that. And when they understand that, they know that they have to go out on their own and achieve it. I was telling you a story about my stepdad, who gave me a great life lesson, right, about commitment. And I told you guys about Ty Murray and Stephenville, about hanging onto the rope and the bull riding. So commitment, I raced motocross my whole life. And I showed up at the track one day and I got third place. And my dad comes in, stepdad, kicks my helmet, says, I'm not going to ever change your tires again or fix your bike or put gas in it. And he was my mechanic. I needed him, you know. And I'm like, why? I beat the other guys. There's 40 guys on the line. He goes, you're better than those 2 guys who beat you. You come in. I didn't come out here to watch you get third place. That sucks. I know you're better than them. And I'm stopping. I'm not going to help you anymore. I work hard for you. I work hard during the week to make sure you got all this shit and do all this. And it was really my mom whipping his ass to get him out there to do it for her. But he did it. And he made sense. And he goes, I came in your room at 3 a.m. and I saw you weren't in there. and I was at my girlfriend's house. I crawled in the window. I was 15. That's what you do. You chase the girls around when you're young and dumb, right? And I went out to the track tired and didn't fully commit. And he goes, I knew, because I was up at 3 to load your bikes to get out of here at 4 a.m. to get to the track. I said, okay. You checked on me, you busted me, you got me. He goes, so until you show me that you can commit to this, I'm not committing to it either. You can have it, you're on your own. Load your bike, do your whole thing yourself. And I'm just left there. So that week I went out. And I called my girlfriend. I said, I cannot see you. Not this week. I'll see you when I can see you, but it's going to be on a different time scale. It won't be late, and it sure won't be before a race. And I went out and practiced to the point where I had blisters and blood and everything every day. This is why I never did school homework. Remember I told you about that? Never did it because I was committed to racing and winning. I went out and smoked those 3 guys. They never beat me, those 2 guys. Never beat me ever again, and I went on to win the championship, and that was it. I said, God, it's true. You got to commit. You can't go out there and drain your energy chasing your girlfriend. You got to say, oh, I got to commit. So I did kind of commit because I never drank. I went to all the keg parties in high school. I never drank. I showed up in my 5.0 with my bass in my back, ripped out my backseat, put in subwoofers. Boom, boom, boom. But everybody out there, keg drinking, sometimes they were my house. I sell $5 a cup. I was making a killing. Put 2 kegs in my backyard. When it runs dry, it should be around 11 o'clock, and I need to get to bed. Everybody there, drunk as hell, drinking all night. I never drank, never partied, never drugs, never nothing. Fully committed, because I had to race money. Had to race and get the money for the next day so I can go fan it in my dickhead brother's face at Piggly Wiggly, because he beat me up. Remember I told you that story? So it was all motivational. I used my brother as motivation to push me. I used my story of the girlfriend affecting my racing ability. Everything is an altar. Voting, I explained that to you. That was a thing. They don't pay you. I don't vote, never registered, never will, until they pay me a lot of money to go spend that time doing it. Because as time management tells you, you got better things to do. I could just choose a pina colada and a palm tree over voting. That's a given. So I don't fall victim to news channels. I take that time and I use that to make money or have fun with my life or pursue my happiness, right? Whatever it is. And it frees up a lot of time. And as a business owner and a multi-business owner and everything, how do you have time to manage for all your children and your important things in life? That's how you do it. You eliminate the bullshit that ain't paying you any money, and your propaganda has sucked you into it, like a news channel or like the conversation you've had with all the people that are so adamant, standing on the corner, Trump signs everywhere, looking like idiots. Here's the thing. I like Trump. I like him because he's a real estate guy, right? The political part doesn't concern me because my opinion means nothing. I don't vote. I'm not registered. But I am a taxpayer. So it should mean something if I don't vote, right? I still pay the taxes. I look at it like, this whole life is, you get out of it what you put in. And there's so many things that are trying to take your horse and blinders off and take you right when you're trying to go left, confuse your brain over here, or have an Anthony Robbins persuasion guy that went through this course to convince you to sign up for this or that. You gotta watch out. There's so many snakes in this world. Sorry to tell you this, my friend, as respect. Most of them are lawyers. Some of them are just opportunists that'll go out and try to, just be careful. Be careful who you trust, man. Like I say, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. There's so many people with a good, persuasive TikTok video that's so nothing real. It's so artificial and fake and phony. But yet, you believe it. Some people believe we didn't land on the moon. They have such a convincing argument about the shadow and the stupid things. They've convinced you to maybe have we did. We landed on the moon. You can see it from the Hubble telescope. And not only once, we did it 12 times. You ask people, how many times did we land on the moon? People think once. We went back 12 times. I bet you none of you guys knew that. I bet you know that you don't even know the names of any astronaut other than Buzz Lightyear, or Buzz Aldrin, and Buzz Lightyear, and freaking, what's the other guy?
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong! That's it. How about the other 11? You don't know them. You see where I'm going with this? It's everything is propaganda. Watch your news channels. Watch what you believe. Everybody today is very sharp on being a narcissist and convincing everyone to go to the Anthony Robbins School of Persuasion and sell you a bunch of artificial, fake, phony news that you believe. We didn't fly the plane into the Pentagon. And then they obviously showed the parking lot surveillance camera of the plane flying in there. You should have seen the convincing video of it, of how much time that person had to do to convince people we didn't do it. Same person did the moon thing. They're doing it about everything. They're questioning everything that we know growing up in the 80s and 90s is not true now. Our history books, everything we taught in school, it's not the same. They don't teach the theory of evolution. They've erased it. Now it's just we teach evolution. The theory word was put there by the creationists in the 60s. They said you're not allowed to have this in school unless you put the word theory, because it creates a curiosity, a maybe, a disbelief. They've taken it off now because of Darwin. and the proof. My point is that history is rewriting itself as we speak faster than we can ever figure out. And you can't keep up with it. How many things are going on in this world that you can't, there's no way one person can fathom and keep up with every damn thing. So what do you do? What do you do? You live with your friends, you honor your family, you know that blood is thicker than mud, and you stay tight with your community, and you stay tighter with your close friends that you can trust, and you know, right? So I just want to tell you that because of the way that when you are going through different things to be successful, a lot of people get fucked over. And I hate hearing those stories. Sorry for the word hate. I'm trying to get away from that word. I don't like those stories. And I hear a lot of them. And that was my good buddy Mark, innocent guy, man. He got completely raped by the lawyers and the courts and probates and death taxes. And there's so many things that are set up for your future to fail in every obstacle. You got to find a maze to get to the finish line of success, right? And one of the failures that everybody does is not pay enough attention, not just taxes, but to dying. Remember I told you why I'm being buried in my backyard. The tax benefit, I'm already going to have it. I already got everything lined up in my will. It will create. In the 50s, everybody was buried in their backyard. It was common. It's no law. There's no law that says it can't happen and that you can't go pick up the body right after it dies. If your mom dies, you can go over in a U-Haul and put her ass in a coffin and load it up with your friend Wes Kane and take it and bury it and dig your fucking hole in your backyard. Trump did it next to the hole number 9 with his wife, ex-wife, and she's there. And by doing that, his entire golf course is untaxable now. Every lien that he had against it, mortgage-wise, never has to pay it again. Cannot be enforced. It's the most research it. Check out what I'm telling you. There's all kinds of ways to have that generational wealth. So everything that you work for during your short life doesn't go to waste or into a lawyer that you'll never know's pocket, and it won't just somebody else be living in your house and everything dwindles to nothing. Hopefully that helped you give a little insight to the way things that we might want to focus on if we were successful and have assets and things that we've accumulated and money that we worked hard for. It helps you, right? So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little insight on something to maybe think about for the future. You know, we're all kind of in the same age bracket here. I know I'm only 19, but you know, I don't know about you guys. I start counting the years backwards. I know what I have left, and I'm going to make the best of it. And I don't want anybody to take advantage of me or my kids as I go or along the way. And education is important, but there's nothing better than to live the example of what you're trying to teach your kids. They'll absorb it.
I agree. So buy a car and hang out with car people.
They're good people. Car people are generally good people. Like I've met more good friends of mine through the cars, and we go and have such a good time with each other. And
We usually, it is true that they are, and I think that I find that most of the car people are, for the most part, hardworking guys. We'll often go out together because when you're taking old cars, there's just a good chance you're going to end up on the road, side of the road, you know, when there's old cars and everybody jumps into actions and fix it. You keep a roll of duct tape, you keep some things in the car for you. And it's happened to us many times. Yeah. You know, you just spring into action, you work. I think it's so important to, I mean, one of the things I notice about Rob is that because you've been successful, not just in music and not in multiple sports, jet skiing and water skiing, and now in all the real estate and then the design work and the renovation, you've been a series of successes in very different areas, which is really extraordinary, right? Really extraordinary. A lot of people can be successful in one. You've done it multiple times. And so I think what I've noticed about Rob is this ability to, first of all, just reinvent himself with the times, right? And I have watched, for example, a whole new generation in my time knowing him, to watch how he reaches across the generations, right? You've got to stay up with the times. You can't, I mean, as much as the 90s were great, or I'd say, you know, the 70s were great when I'm a little older, is that we can't go back, right? We can't go back. We can't live in those times. We can love those times, but we've got to still keep up with the now, what we're in. And you have to reinvent yourself. And he's reinvents himself. But the biggest thing, Rob, is that you're a doer. I mean, you work hard. You know, we'll text at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. You're up and about.
Oh, yeah.
You're just doing. It's you're busy, and you got to do. You're not gonna make it in this world just by thinking, by imagining, by dreaming. And it's just, it's work, but at the same time, you love your work. I love my work. I love bouncing out of bed bright and early, and it's just off.
You know why you love it? Because you have a purpose. So many people are still searching for a purpose, for a meaning, you know, like why? Why should I get up? What do I have to do today?
Yeah.
Because you didn't set anything up for yourself. That's why, because you ain't thinking a day ahead of yourself. You just woke up with nothing on your list. You have nothing until you create it as you wake up. Some people already have that list and what they're going to do the whole week, and they have agendas and they have dreams and things they're going to do to try to get to that point. And some people just carelessly wake up wishing that all the stuff will land in their lap. And like I keep telling you, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You got to pursue it. It ain't going to land in your lap. So with that, it's just, you know,
Great point.
yeah, happiness is everything, and everything else is just nothing. Honestly, it's just a kind of a fluff along the way. You can have little cool things and play with them, and that's it. You got to enjoy your life.